Previously on Story Hoard.
You're in the Zelio forest.
Wasn't that the place where people were like, don't go there, the god is real mean?
Oh, so bold of humans to talk of dark hearts. Wouldn't you like to know what the most recent humans in our woods have been doing?
You can see a group of people just trampling the hell out of what was a humble forest shrine.
Oi, Gataki!
For whatever reason, Boss is less about relics these days and more about spreading some love. And as she places it in the heart of the shrine, you can see the petrified flower start to glow a sickly green.
Gataki, I believe that your boss has been taken over by an old god.
You're all following Gataki's lead past the destroyed shrine to the god of the border woods as she starts leading you down the trail that they had made for themselves. And you can see here and there scattered scorch marks leading the way through the woods, evidence of previous bombs used at pretty regular intervals. But before you get out of eyesight of the destroyed shrine, Rami does hang back and rubs his neck. He says, We really should try and do something to... I mean, we promised the sprite of the border woods that we would, fix it when we found it, right?
Do you know how to fix it?
Looks down. He's like, the turning to stone thing is kind of not great, but I'm sure we could, put some of the pieces back together. And Gataki's like big rolling her eyes at him. And she's like, listen, I'm on a schedule. If you want to stay back here and try and put some rocks back into a vague shape that some loser forest god is going to appreciate, be my guest. But I have places to be and I'm not waiting for you or anyone else to do some housekeeping.
Come on, we'll solve this later. One thing at a time.
Yeah, we can fix it on the way back.
Gods are working on a different time schedule than we are.
Yeah.
One or both of you make a persuasion check. Rami is discomforted right now.
Yeah, I got a 1, so...
Oh, no!
16! Oh, I don't think that saves your 1, though.
Rami narrows his eyes at you, Mateo. He says, it doesn't matter if, they're working on a different time scale. We made a promise. And I don't know about you, but that means something to me. And he breaks off from the group. He says, I'm going back. I'll find you guys.
Rami.
I'll find you. Okay? Just...
I don't think we should split up.
Sildra gives a little shoulder nudge to move Mateo over to Rami.
No, it's Mateo. You should probably stay with, your friends over there. I'll take care of this myself. I'll follow the trail that these guys have led, and gestures to the various scorch marks along the ground. Says, I have a feeling they're not going to be that hard to track.
Mateo goes... He wants to just, talk so only Rami can hear him. Rami, we don't know what we're dealing with here. We don't know, it could corrupt you maybe if you try and mess with it too much.
Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take. Listen, if this thing is spreading as far as we think it might, better to try and find a way now to mitigate the damage, right? I mean, this just happened. Maybe there's a way we can keep it from getting worse, instead of just leaving it to fester and stay this way. Maybe we can do some damage control on it. You can go. I'll find Mateo. And he takes a deep breath. He says, I'm doing this. Go with those guys. Trust me to take care of myself, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And he gives a small smile and starts walking away. He says, this shouldn't take that long, it didn't seem that big. If I'm not back within 20 minutes, half an hour with you guys, feel free to turn back around for me. to which Gataki says, "We won't."
Sildra's just gonna kind of shuffle over to Mateo and just kind of mutter like, "Do you want me to stay with him? I can stay with him."
Okay, thank you.
Gives him a thumbs up.
Yeah, Sildra, you run up and catch up to Rami. The rest of you continue on the road through the border woods with Gataki leading the way and Damos and Draxa not too far behind her. At one point, Damos makes note of Smudge and gives a very impressed kind of like a, ooh. So, I don't recall seeing a dark shadow horse with you last time around. Is she new? And she goes to nip at his ear and she says, "I prefer a more respectful tone if you don't mind." He says, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, that's a new development. But once you get past like weirdness of having a horse talk, Smudge is still great.
Sniffs in your direction, Mori, she says. "Yes, I do appreciate my companions here. They've been quite enjoyable to be around."
Momori kind of beams at that.
She sniffs at Damos and Drax as she says, "You newcomers and your strange smelling magic. Smell of smoke and something else." And she starts sniffing at the ground. She says, "I'm not familiar with this. Explain." And Gataki throws her hands up. She's like, "It's Boss's, 3.0 new variation on his fancy banishment bombs. It's not God-related. Well, I guess it's God-related. I don't know. I mean, you're a magical talking horse. I'm not expecting you to fully grasp the insane work that he seems to do as far as what he compiles into a ticking time bomb that's meant to dispel magic. But that's probably what you're picking up." She sniffs Gataki and says, "Ah, God of the Hunt." To which Gataki folds her ears back and starts walking way faster than she was.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about everyone trying to sniff us, but it is somewhat disconcerting, Smudge.
Smudge, have you heard of Inside Thoughts?
I'm simply trying to be cautious around these new individuals.
They're cool.
I would be sorely disappointed in myself if any harm were to come to any of you as a result of dealing with some unsavory types.
Well, right back at you, Smudge. We don't want any harm coming to you either. But these guys are cool. We go way back.
Drax rolls her eyes. She's like, "We go, like, maybe a month back in a total of, 12 hours."
Well, it's just the vibes. Good vibes. Also, you guys hate gods, and that's really comforting to me. But
Gataki does a chuckle at that. She says, "Well, okay, we're allowed to have one thing in common."
yeah, I feel like yeah, that's yeah, and it's a fairly large thing, I suppose. But I mean, the biggest thing would be figuring out what's up with your boss and making sure he's cool and not colluding with any I don't know, god wannabes or dangerous entities.
Damos laughs at that. He says, "You've met the Troop Master. I think you know that him more than anyone wouldn't be caught dead colluding with any gods or wannabe gods. I mean, I, it's called the Heretic's Truth. There's no way you knowingly collaborate with anything like that."
Keyword knowingly.
Memoria's shoulders slump and she kind of goes a little bit quiet. Well, there are times when even the best intentioned people are led astray.
Rax like steps closer to you, Momori, and she says, I know he's not, like, the perfect person. But, you know, all of his schemes and all of his, like, attempts to, steal relics and, rip people off for kind of a half-baked sideshow. It was all only ever done to support the people that gravitated toward him, that he took in. Sometimes he'll get really into a new project. He'll just, like, find a new obsession and just dive all in. And sometimes, Effie will have to go and remind him to eat or, remind him that he has rehearsal and has to do his actual job. And it's hard to pull him away, but when he does, he's really excited to talk about what he's been up. Like, you can't shut him up. But no one's been able to pull him away. Like, no one knows what he's doing in there. All we have are his, like, marching orders, go around, mess up some shrines, come back, get more of his, like, weird relics, and repeat the process. Like, he hasn't come to rehearsal in 2 weeks, and that's insane.
Well, you guys are his family, so you know him best. And I wouldn't ignore your feelings. Your gut is going to tell you what you need to know, even if it's not what you necessarily want to hear. So let's just and see how's it going. Make sure everything's all right. Momori swallows kind of hard.
Sometimes you just need a second opinion.
Right. Sometimes you just gotta lay eyes on someone.
Is it really as serious as you guys say it is?
Are you asking our opinion? Or, like, do you want to know, like, the optimistic thought? Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's real bad. One might say it's the worst.
Do me a favor and make a perception check right now.
My pleasure, Grace. 12. That's a solid 12.
Yeah. Draxa goes a little bit pale in the face and starts getting real sweaty. She reaches out to grab Damos's arm and brings the two of them up towards Gataki, away from you, Mateo, and Smudge.
Listen, whatever is happening, we're here to help. We're not here to judge. We're not here to yell at you guys. We're just here to problem solve.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say. Let's jump back to Sildra and Rami by the shrine. Yeah, you guys get back to the clearing where Gataki and the others had trampled and petrified the shrine to the god of the border woods. And when Rami gets there, he makes a face that says, yeah, there's not a whole lot to salvage here, but that's not going to stop him from trying. And he starts picking around and trying to find the remnants of whatever relics were left at this shrine and starts trying to organize the destroyed rubble of this former shrine. And, Soldier, do me a favor and make a perception check for me right now.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, that would be an 18.
Ooh.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, you roll an 18. Rami rolled a 21.
Oh. Oh.
You said you rolled an 18. On an 18, as you're watching Rami reassemble the parts and pieces of the shrine, you and Rami both start to take notice of the uptick in the air around you guys. And as you look out over the ridge of the depression you guys are in, You see a number of eyes blinking back at you, that same golden color that Apoki's had. You see one gray squirrel attempt to get closer before freezing in its tracks and settles where it's at. The creature's eyes blink and go back to a squirrely black as from the other side of the clearing, you hear a voice call out from the mouth of a songbird.
Well, good to know someone in your party is willing to take responsibility and follow through on a promise. What on earth did they do to this space?
And Rami scratches the back of his neck. He says, "They really did a number on this. I'm real sorry." And he starts fishing through his pockets and finds a stray gold coin and a few nuts. And in the space that he was clearing out for the shrine, places them gently and strikes a match and lights a small candle. He says, "I don't know how much we can fix this. Apologies to the god of the border woods. This shouldn't have happened." Apoki sniffs the air and trains its eyes on you, Sildren, and says,
Stinky one.
I have a name, but okay.
What happened here? The same stink on you is all over this space. And look, this space is rock now. What? We don't have this type of rock here.
and starts hopping from tree branch to tree branch, just tilting its head backwards and forwards, clearly just very upset at the situation.
The god's shrine is destroyed. The stink is in the woods. It's...
And you can see it going from incredibly fussed to looking kind of exhausted very quickly as it's worked itself up into this frenzy and doesn't seem to be able to maintain this kind of fur it was in.
And I can't even come see what happened. Why can't I come closer?
Those unfriendlies that came through were, not fans of the gods. And they've been trying a lot of ways to make it so that they can be banished from certain places. We still don't know what exactly would have caused this, but yeah. Might wear off after a while. Maybe it just needs a breeze to come through. Maybe then the stink will come off. We'll get back to you on it. We're working on it.
Looks at you, looks at Rami, looks at the very small but little altar and fresh offering that he's left in place of everything. Pokey gives a weary bow of its head and says,
Your efforts are noted and appreciated. I will report back to the god and ensure that you too receive safe passage through these woods.
And flies off, leaving the two of you alone in the clearing once again. Rami wipes the sweat off his brow and he says, I know it was kind of a chore to come back here. I mean, you didn't really help, but thanks for coming back here with me, Sil.
I mean, someone has to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah. He kind of like playfully punches your shoulder. He's like, I know, I'm a real wild card. Come on, we might as well make our way. I think we've done everything we can here for now. I know I'm probably on my own here amongst the four of us as far as any kind of gestures as you guys are walking away from the shrine. He says, I don't have any ill will towards the gods. And I know all of you have your own reasons for feeling the way that you do. And I do understand it. But what those guys did to this space, it wasn't necessary. Whatever hurts they had, whatever feelings they carry, this god and all of the creatures of these woods that depend on it, they didn't deserve that.
Won't argue with you on that one.
Sildra, make one more perception check for me, please.
Can do. 11.
The woods are quiet. The woods are quieter than they were before. But on 11, that's all I'm giving you. You guys walk. It doesn't take you and Rami very long to catch up to the rest of the crew. And I think once you're all assembled, you're just within eyesight of the break in the woods, spinning you out into the larger fields beyond. And right now, I need everyone in this party to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yay!
Not
More
yay!
Dungeons and Dragons! I want to punch something. That's a 5. Dang it.
Uh-huh.
Yay, math!
Yeah.
A dexterity saving throw?
Yes.
I guess a +2. That's a +2. That's a 7.
Uh-huh.
That's a classic, beautiful, a dirty 20. Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's so
13.
At
exciting.
least someone will live through this encounter.
Okay.
They'll go on to tell your tale.
Yeah.
See, that's a 4.
Tell my story.
That's a 4. That's a 14. That's a Tacky got a nat 20. Cool.
Of course she did. She's a cat girl.
Yep. As you are nearing the edge of this clearing, Sildra, you feel something deep within you flash. You get a sense of something headed your way very fast, very powerfully, and you are able to sidestep a wave of magical energy that comes flying at you from behind. Everyone else, take 1d6 radiant damage for me as you are bowled over.
Yay.
Are we rolling that ourselves then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 6.
Yep.
3.
Wow, good thing I freaking am healed up to health.
Yep. Everyone else, sans Sildra, who is able to sidestep this magical attack, and Gataki, who, thanks to her feline senses, managed to backflip out of the way in anticipation of this attack. Everyone else was bowled over by the sudden rush of a magical attack against all of you. And as you all pull yourselves up from the ground, you look at the way that you were coming, and from the woods you hear a voice that says, "Not yet free to leave this space." And it's a tired voice, and it's a weak voice. And it comes from a stumbling, shambling, assembled form of what looks like various forest detritus and the remains of that toppled shrine that has assembled itself into what looks like almost like a chimera shape of a wolf with stag horns and the wings of a great bird with glowing golden eyes. This creature stalks towards the group of you and says, "You still remain within my domain. And there are still answers that I demand of you before you leave. I am Dasakor, the god of these border woods. What did you do to me?" Damos and Draxa are shaking right now as Gataki draws herself up as tall as she can, chin held high, and says, "A gift from the troop master," and gives a very sarcastic bow. "Hope you enjoy your sacrifice, great god of the woods." The god of the border woods turns its eyes to the rest of your party and says,
you all reek of this rotted magic, the one of the harvest god, I apologize for inflicting harm on you, but the rest of your party requires a better excuse to avoid receiving the last of my...
And you can see this form of assembled parts and pieces of the woods is quivering, and it looks like the force that's holding this creature together is just barely holding on.
Momori pulls out Nugget.
Sildra puts a hand on Mamori's nugget, kind of gives her a side eye, like, put that down.
Mori stands her ground. I'm not trying to pick a fight, but if you come for my friends, I don't think there's a choice.
A sentiment I share. I don't ordinarily try to go after those who pass through my woods, but what was done here has affected all under my protection. That foul magic has seeped in past my shrine and has touched me.
Excuse me if I might say something.
Looks at Mateo.
So a couple, maybe 1,000 years ago, there was a king who wanted to become a god. And you might recall that some of your wood was used to make monuments and such to him. Do you recall this?
The marionette shudders and says,
It was before my time, but the god who inhabited these woods before I shared whispers of a mad monarch, of harsh lessons learned, of humans who grew too powerful. What of this dead ruler matters now in this present?
Unfortunately, he's not that dead. The same magic that's affecting you now is his. And we're on a quest to stop him right now. Hopefully.
Well, we don't know if we don't try.
Mateo, go ahead and make a persuasion roll for me.
I've been great
Yeah,
at that today,
uh-huh.
thank you. 14.
Desicor inclines its head at that and says,
How would a mortal exist 1,000 years? Their magic so intact, so potent. You say this monarch still lives, that you're seeking them out. Where are they?
I don't think you're in much shape for a fight right now, no offense.
another shudder, and you can see now the assembled foliage and stones are now really starting to slough off of this shaking form. It says,
I can't fight. You're correct. And based on what I've been able to hear from this group of you all as you've torn through my woods, seeing a god in my condition, at best is of no interest to you, and at worst is actively wished upon me. But know this, what happens to me happens to those under my influence. stop this monarch, if that is your mission. If not, pray that I am the only god it has reached.
And it fully falls apart as the glowing golden eyes of the various wildlife around you all dim to their natural shiny black. The marionette falls to pieces in the forest path as everyone assembled kind of just takes a breath that was being held.
Itaki, how many shrines did you say that you did that to? 12?
She's blinking kind of hard. 12 would be a undercount, most likely, yeah.
Well, which ones? Can you remember that?
So we hit three in these woods, a few more to the god of fire. There's one to the god of the North Sea. She shakes her head. She says, "Look, it's threatening us. Okay, it's trying to freak us out. All right, we destroyed its shrine. It's weak because its only worshippers are a bunch of squirrels and forest animals, and it can't do anything to touch us right now. Okay? So, right, I wouldn't take too much of what it's saying to heart because honestly, I'm not scared of any god. Especially not one
Girl.
that's as dead and dying as this one."
Girl, we gotta put those destructive, tendencies to, work for good. We gotta find a better outlet for you.
This is my better outlet.
Well, it's kind of helping the end of the world come a little faster. So maybe just work in the opposite direction for a second, you know?
Rami walks up to Gataki, looking very stone cold serious, and says, "For 1 minute, think about anyone other than yourself. This is so much bigger than whatever happened to just you." Rami pulls himself away just as Gataki goes to swipe at his face with a clawed fist.
Whoa.
Mateo whips out his crossbow. Don't touch him.
Bemori kind of gets between them. We don't need to sort this out like that. Listen, I don't know that I care to save any gods, but for the moment, I think we do have to focus on the bigger picture here. So let's go ahead and, find Nasty, just do a little welfare check and see if he's cool, and, we can save the rest of this for when we've all calmed down. Cool?
Looks at you and looks at Damos and Draxa, who Draxa is in the midst of a panic attack. Damos
Great.
is holding her, rubbing her back as she is just hyperventilating at what just unfolded in front of her. She looks at you, Momori, and she says, "We get out of these woods. I'll take you to the boss. And I hold off on any more shrine assignments until we figure out what's going on with him. Deal?"
Sounds great to me. Yeah. Is that cool with you, Rami?
I'll go with whatever the plan is. If it means finding this clown boss and using whatever he's figured out to stop the end of the world, then fine. He is staring hard at Gataki, though, and his quarterstaff is, white-knuckled, gripped in his hand.
Great. We're all friends again. Mateo, you can put that down now.
Just keep your claws to yourself. And he puts it away.
The group of you make your way out of the Zelio forest and onto a fairly main road headed south towards the Draga settlement. And I think at this point, y'all are set to camp for the night. There's still another day's distance away before you reach the Draga Highlands, where the troop is posted at. And with Gataki, Draxa, and Damos, I think everyone agrees that it's probably best to stay as a group for now. The three of them pitch up their camp a solid distance away from you all, but still within eyesight.
Cool. Nothing awkward about this at all. We're doing great.
We're keeping a watch, right?
Yeah, no, we're definitely keeping watch.
How's the friendly reunion going, Mamori?
It was going good until there was a god that barreled out of the woods, and I don't know, I was kind of hoping to fight it, but
I feel like there were some hiccups
Didn't
before
happen.
that point.
what can I say? No friendships are perfect, all right?
Walks away.
Hey, don't walk away! Where are you going? I'll be lonely without you. Rory runs after Sildra.
Rami sits down next to you, Mateo. He was kind of hitching a smudge up for the night, making sure she was fed and taken care of. And he posts up next to you, flipping his quarterstaff between his hands, and says, That cat girl's a piece of work, isn't she?"
Yeah, we have to keep an eye on her. She's not to be messed with.
Well, you seem like you have her pretty well figured out. I mean, you took her eye out for one, and you were impressively quick on the crossbow drawback there. When did you learn how to shoot something like that?
You pick up some things here and there.
Nods his head and says, "Yeah, it's doesn't surprise me. Though I gotta say, I'm a little shocked you went with that and not he does kind of gesture of magic-y fingers. He said, You've been getting better at it though."
Yeah, but these people don't need to know I can do that yet.
Yeah, I suppose it helps to keep things a little close to the chest with them.
Let them underestimate you. And then that's their problem to deal with later.
Huh, that's a good point. Teo, did I don't regret trying to help out the god of the border woods back there, but could I have done something more? That god was hurt from whatever they did to it. And I've never seen anything like that. And, I'm not particularly attuned to it or its magic or anything, but whatever that petrification did, it's not just hurting that god. Those woods, everything in it is gonna suffer because of whatever that magic is doing.
Yes, everything that magic touched. It's not boding well. I don't know what else you could have done. I think we just need to cut this thing off at the source. And then, okay. So, if that petrification affects everything that magic touches, I'm sure it goes both ways, right? If we cut off the source of the petrification magic, it'll affect everything it's petrified.
And it will release everything. It'll go back to normal, you're saying.
Best case scenario.
Well, we have our plan. If it means getting those bombs to check at some evil master entity, I hope. we can fix this. If only for everyone else's sake.
You know, this place isn't so bad. I like being here too. Think about that, Rami. Make the world better for yourself, so you can live in it, not just for everyone else.
He smiles at that. Well, if I had to make the world better for myself, definitely include, a few extra layers of, padding to my sleeping bag. I don't know about you. He's rubs his back. He says, I'm not used to rough sleeping, so to say. I would love, my ideal world. Just a little bit of extra back support. That's what I'll do.
That's all you want? That's all you want.
When we save the world, all I want is a nice night's sleep.
I mean, I could do you one better. And Mateo gets up, he goes over to his stuff, his obnoxious amount of stuff that his mom just like packed for him. And it's like, yeah, there's probably here we go. And just like pulls out some like big heavy cloaks that he was not going to wear. He was not going to wear these. But they've been in the back of this thing this whole time.
Oh my god.
And he gives them over to him.
Oh my god. So you're okay, so you came very prepared for I'm sorry, were you packing for like winter weather?
Have you seen what I've been wearing for the past 2 years? Also, my mother packed these.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Not that your mother's not great.
That's an adjective.
Yeah. She obviously wanted you to be well prepared. And you can see he's running his hands over and over the various fabrics. He's like, oh, this is quite nice, isn't it? It's like, are you sure I should sleep on these? I wouldn't want to, ruin them.
It's fine. I mean, that's they came in like those it's like one of those where you keep like your furs in a nice like zipped up thing.
Oh, sure.
Like you could just keep it in there and then it'll give you the padding still.
Oh, yeah, sure. Of course, yeah. Obviously I'll he sticks them back in like the protective sleeves. A little reluctantly. He's like, yeah, that's probably for the best. You guys wrap up, and whoever wants to take first, second shift, who wants to take night shift tonight? Y'all can make whatever rolls you gotta make for bedtimes.
I have a thing I want to do on my shift.
Rolls.
Oh, the
Just
thing.
throwing it out there.
Okay.
So I just did my sleep roll.
How's Mateo sleeping tonight?
Bad. He's not.
Oh.
Yeah, let me. Okay.
Uh-oh.
That might give me an extra spell slot, though. Give me a second.
Uh-huh.
Get a nat 1 on my sleeping roll.
Oh no.
Hmm.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
What does nat 1 on an insomnia roll look like? Oh god.
As we have agreed here, long ago when we set this up. So Mateo doesn't sleep tonight and will gain no healing benefits of a long rest. Except for spell casting, which is all healed up, and also I get a temp spell slot.
Okay. Wow, unfortunate.
It's I can deal with the 3 hit points that I lost today. It's okay.
Yeah, no, you're so good. You said you wanted to try something while you were on like night watch tonight.
Yes. So if Mateo takes the first one because he knows he's not going to be sleeping tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's his turn, he is just like okay, I gotta practice this magic shit. I need to like figure out the bounds of like what I can and can't do here. So he does this away, like the farthest away he can get from the other group of people,
Mm.
while still like maintaining a good watch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just like frostbite, gust, ray of frost, shocking, like just like all doing like cantrips, like repeatedly, like into the trees, like onto the ground, seeing how far the frostbite can like crawl out from his hands until it stops. And like all these cantrips, they just don't stop. He can just like keep doing them forever and ever and ever. So by the time like his whole thing is up, there's just like a little Mateo-shaped space that is not frosty, and then just like a whole perimeter of
Oh my god.
of like ice and like leaves having been blown off trees.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, very cool. I think whoever decides to relieve you of your shift next, I think maybe Rami gets up after and kind of sees the environmental storytelling that happened here.
Mateo's hair's like all messed up.
Says, so was there like an ambush? I didn't hear anything. I'm assuming you fought off a god. Good job.
I was just testing my abilities.
Oh, baby.
He smiles at that and brushes a little bit of like stray frost off of your shoulder. It kind of sends you to bed. And I think you guys go through your shifts. Mamori, once it comes turn to your shift, go ahead and roll a perception check right now for me.
Oh, hello. I wasn't expecting more checks. Ah! Okay, that's a 9 plus I think it was a 2. That's a solid little 11 there.
Alas.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, on
Grace,
an
do we
11.
find out what happened? Oh, yes, okay. Sorry.
Do you find out what?
I was just wondering what happens. Because sometimes you'll do that thing where you're like, roll a perception check, and I roll bad, and you're like,
Never mind.
notice nothing, and then we move on, and I'm like, but what was I supposed to notice? What's happening? Anyways, sorry. You were about to like do the dungeon master narration thing.
Yes, I was. On an 11, during your shift, Mamori, you hear some tossing and turning coming from the clown camp a little ways away, but you don't see anything terribly outstanding. I think you see, like, Draxa turn over in her sleep, and Damo sit up and, again, put a hand on her shoulder to soothe whatever nightmare she's got going on, before the two of them settle back down.
They don't look like they're dealing with this very well. Noted for later.
They'll be fine. They've done this plenty of times. I don't know why they're wussing out now. As Kitaki kind of appears directly behind you.
Oh, that's what the perception check was for. I hate that. Yeah. Are you sure about that? They seem like they're having trouble with it. I'll just say that. Mamori kind of leans back, puts her arms over her head, and tilts her head back and looks at Gitaki.
Looks down at you with her one eye and rolls for a particularly dramatic effect with it. She says, Draxa loves to exaggerate and act like everything is so hard and dramatic for her. Her brother dotes on her. She'll be fine. I don't know why seeing a dead and dying god really got to them this afternoon, but evidently they're maybe not as into this whole new direction the boss is going in as much as some of us.
So you're talking about yourself. You're into it.
I mean, yeah. It's a free pass to cause as much destruction as I want to any god I stumble upon. And it is something that I am actively rewarded and asked to do. I'm loving this.
Yeah, I can't say I blame you.
She looks at you. She says, "All right, I'll bite. You're weird. What's your deal? You hate gods, but you will go to bat for them and the people who worship them. You
Whoa.
kill.
I do not go to bat for gods. Let's
I
hold up
killed
here
you,
for a
and
minute.
then you think we're best friends. There's a lot going on here.
I never said we're best friends. But I can't deny that, I don't know, we're similar in a lot of ways, I guess. You know how, like, you hate gods because some gods messed with you? And you didn't appreciate that?
It's a bit of an understatement, but sure.
Some gods messed with a whole lot of people that I care about. And me. So, let's just say I get where you're coming from. And I don't know how to fix it. And I wish I could. But if I can't, I want to take out at least one god before I go down. If you know what I'm saying.
She stares at you for probably a beat longer than is fully, like, comfortable.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Cat eyes.
Cat eye.
And she plops herself down right next to you and says, I was cursed 5 years ago, and I do my best to take my situation in stride where I can. I mean, you saw that sick backflip I did earlier, and she kind of like flashes her claws. She says, there are some perks to this whole situation. Some people have tried to suggest that I move on from what happened to me, you know, make it my own. I don't know that I'll ever be able to do that. I don't know that I want to. You said you want to kill a god.
Yeah.
She flicks her tail on your nose. I'm willing to help you out on that one.
The more he laughs just a little bit, she fingers the knife in her coat, cloak thing. Yeah, I guess once we get through this whole end of the world thing, Tacky, if I ever get that far, I'll gladly invite you along for my bench quest.
Hell yeah!
I think you'd be great at it.
Oh my gosh. She turns like full eye toward you. She says, I love a revenge quest. Ooh.
Yes.
I should, oh my goodness. You know, one time I came across this one absolute slime ball of a con man. He's selling these curse breaking kits, you know, for free. Oh, you know, this like
No
ointment.
way.
Well, he looks me in my furry face and says, rub this ointment on your skin and you know, the fur will come off, the curse will be lifted. And I spent real money on it. And I got
Of course you did, 'cause,
I got the worst mats in my Do you know what it's like to have matted facial hair? It's awful.
I can only imagine.
Yes,
That's
very
so bad.
very bad. My whiskers were like the feeling of like paste in your whiskers. Don't recommend. I spent a week tracking this guy down because of course he skipped town. Tracked him down, hung him upside down from his ankles from a very high spot, stole all of his money, and then also slathered the fake cure slime in
Yes.
his hair for him to cut through.
Perfect. Yes.
I'm just saying.
And
I'm very familiar with the ins and outs of revenge quests.
Momori just kind of laughs. Well, glad to have you on the team. It's and I don't really have so much of a problem with people, I guess. Or even that people worship gods, whatever. I don't really care. It doesn't hurt me, I guess, but where I come from, all my gods are dead. They were supposed to protect us. They never did. They spent all their time doing just petty wars and squabbles, all for their own benefit. Until one man who thought he could be a god took them all out. And we supported him. We wanted him to kill our gods. That's why we didn't see it coming when he took their place. Right now, Aaron rules the place where I come from. And Aaron has covered what used to be a beautiful green land in sand. Just oceans and oceans of sand as far as I can see. So yeah, if all goes well, if we make it out of this, I've got his number.
She blows a big breath out between her teeth and she says, "Yeah, that's a very valid revenge quest." And from the sounds of it, it sounds like you could use some serious firepower with that.
Yes.
And I might know a guy that could potentially, maybe, I'll ask. I'll put in a good word for you.
Momori leans back and smirks. Oh yeah? You'd do that for me?
Okay, don't get, annoying about it. I just can't
Momori
help myself.
smiles bigger!
Oh my god. She, shoves you. Says, okay, you're a freak. You're a weirdo. I'm going to bed.
Sleep tight, Gateki.
God, sleep with one eye open, honestly. I do it every day.
Momori finger guns at her.
God.
I knew it. I knew we were friends. We were friends the whole time.
God, it's been Nope. We gotta end the episode, then I can tell you my thoughts. Sorry.
Sildra, did you happen to
Yeah.
roll?
Yes, I rolled a 14.
This is a fully different dream tonight. You're not seeing Hearth. You're not seeing any familiar landscapes or situations. You're not even seeing yourself from a third-person angle. You're staring out into a monochrome amber space. You turn your eyes this way and that because you can't move any other part of yourself. But you see an incredibly ornately designed room with stunning stone architecture running up these incredibly high ceilings. It's an opulent space that's devoid of any sort of furniture or furnishings of any sort. You can't move, but when you turn your eyes downward, you see your hands are shackled in these brilliant ethereal binds. You're gripping a massive long sword that runs nearly the full length of your torso down to the floor. You see that you are dressed in ornate robes and dressings, all bound in these shimmering magical chains. And you look out a window to a sprawling city. You feel an overwhelming sense of mourning as you look upon the city. But you also have a deep feeling of satisfaction because you know it won't be long now that you'll be able to step out into your city again. Do you wake up? Everyone is well rested. Everyone stands one.
We look at Mateo, and he's just vibrating.
So, when Mateo wakes up, covered in sweat, swimming in sweat,
Ew.
like he never went to sleep, right? So he's just like sitting there and just being like, God, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? And then, so, you see Mateo and Mamori especially. You have never seen Mateo's like wrists, forearms, ankles.
Ooh.
You do now.
Oh.
Mateo is wearing just like a short, like a shirt that was probably an undershirt that he's just like wearing with the sleeves rolled all the way up, and like capris.
Mateo?
Did you know it's fucking hot?
Mamori blinks at him. It's pretty much the same weather as it was yesterday. Holds up back of hand to forehead. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, he feels a normal temperature, but not normal for Mateo.
Sildra?
Soldier kind of comes over warily, holding up the fishing rod between them and the very, very sweaty Mateo.
He like uses gust to like blow his hair out of his face. Air conditioning with gust.
Sweaty. So this looks like magic things.
Do I look like a doctor?
Mamori waves hands in Mateo's direction.
You have
don't know, you're
healing
ready to
shit. What are you
fix it.
talking about?
I have healing for scrapes and bruises and concussions, not. I don't know. Fevers for people of unusually low temperatures.
I'm not sick. I've had a fever before. I know what it feels like.
I'll can I go ahead and try casting Cure Wounds on him?
Sure.
Oh, nice. You're healed 8 points.
Damn, okay.
Do
Does
you
that
feel
give me any
different?
temp, or does it just bring me back to full? I think I
It
was
just
only
brings
missing
you back
3.
to full.
Okay. I guess that helps I didn't sleep at all last night. Thanks.
You didn't sleep?
Not for lack of trying.
Okay. Rami!
Yeah, what's runs up to you, sees Mateo in this indecent state. Not indecent, but like sees Mateo more like uncovered than he's been in like years. Averts his eyes.
What? Mateo's in capris and Robbie can't handle it. What?
Arms! Is that
Oh my
neck?
gosh.
Can I see some neck? Some collarbone?
Yep. It's like, sorry,
The ankles.
I didn't know if you were undressing or not. I've never seen you like this.
I'm wearing clothes.
Okay. Why are you so sweaty? Do you need here? He like hands you like a water bottle.
Thanks. Mateo uses like frostbite on it to make it colder
Mm.
and downs it.
You didn't like overwork yourself with all that spell slinging last night, did you?
It didn't make me tired at all.
Spell what? Mateo, you were doing what now?
Did you notice the kind of crater-like appearance of the post once you got to it? I guess the ice might have melted by the time it was your turn.
I mean, yes. Wasn't really sure if that was a natural feature or...
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was just holding it in. I don't know.
Who's gone through magic puberty before? Somebody help. We
I don't
need
think
assistance.
magic puberty is a thing.
Mateo's second puberty.
um, as you guys are having this conversation, the clown crew rolls up, and Draxa makes note of your look. She's like, "Oh yeah, magic sweats. Been there. It's not great." Speaking as someone who's sourcing her magic from the god of fire, yeah, it's gross. You'll live, but ugh. Yeah, I was sweaty for like a month straight when I really got my magic kind of, kicking.
Sildra kind of looks back at Rami and just squints, very confused. Did this happen to you?
Don't know. I don't deal with temperature magics. I got like really hungry for like a couple of days when I first started, but I thought that was just stress eating. Like, I don't know if working for the harvest god makes me like more in tune with vegetables. Did you get hungry learning how to magic? No?
I mean, maybe? I kind of like have been doing it as long as I can remember, so I don't know.
Magic's weird.
It is. I'll give you that one. It is.
Hands Mateo like a spare hand towel from his supplies of like,
I'm fine, I'm regulating.
Okay. Well, as long as you're good to go, I think we're maybe just about there today. And looking at the map, yeah, you guys are due to get to the clown camp. Drax at one point makes her way over to where Rami has the map and highlights specifically. She says, "Yeah, we're actually camped out. We're over here right now." And she points to a settlement just south of Draga itself, right before getting into the Highlands. She says, we try not to stay in towns proper in the event that something goes sideways. Just easier if we need to make a clean departure. We found an experience. And yeah, she highlights on the map where exactly the camp is located, and you all hit the road.
Woo! Go team!
It takes you another half of the day walking to get to the Draga settlement itself, which is a fairly well-established settlement of textile artisans, musicians, traders. The Draga settlement is located in a prairie sort of environment, so there's a lot of farms, a lot of low-sitting houses to avoid any big gusts of prairie wind. Simple living, not terribly unlike what you guys are used to in Hearth. And you make your way through the township, or you start seeing steadily more and more of the flyers that you saw at the Queso outposts advertising the Heretics troop. Once you get into town, Gataki, Damas, and Draxa all very quickly throw up their cloak hoods, trying to just kind of not bring too much attention to themselves. They pull you guys aside very quickly and say, "We're just gonna dip through. It's easier for us to not really be seen around these parts right now. So we'll see you at the base camp. Yeah, see you in a few." And they get away from you guys, and your very big, conspicuous shadow horse.
Keep a low profile with our talking horse.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, you do get a few very obvious stares of like, yeah, that's a big, like, evil looking horse. She's not evil, but she's, yeah, hard to miss.
She cuts a striking figure.
You guys make your way through this town, and as you're passing through, you do see that there is a singular temple in this town. And outside that temple, you can see a number of signs and a number of sigils for what looks like maybe a dozen to 15 different gods that this temple is set to service. It seems as though, as you go through Draga, this is a town made up of a lot of different peoples from all over. It seems like this was a general settling space where disconnected travelers and immigrants and such all came together to just set up shop and commingle, coexist. So there's a variety of styles, cultures, and gods all congregating in this one town. And the temple is a singular building that's accommodating for all these different walks of life. And the temple is also closed. It is, in fact, boarded up with what looks like layers of wooden planks with various prayer tags plastered to the outside. It is not open for business. It seems fairly recent. And you can see a number of, what looks like out-of-work temple attendants kind of sulking nearby.
All right. Yeah, I don't feel the need to engage.
Mateo elbows Rami. He's like, "Do you want to ask them what happened to the temple?"
That was a 16. Yeah, Rami gives like a quick nod of his head. He's like, yeah, I'll be right back. And he starts chatting up one of the temple attendants who starts gesturing at the door to the temple into a few of the smaller little effigies just sitting on top of the porch directly outside. And upon closer inspection, you all can see some very gradual petrification starting to creep out from under the door and up the bases of these effigies. And Rami comes back and he says, I think our friends have already been here, which might explain why they scampered off earlier.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hope that the god of the border woods was just incredibly old and weak, and that taking out 3 of its shrines was enough to really hurt it, because according to these guys, the inside of this temple is uninhabitable. I think it's best we keep moving. They said they're keeping an eye on it to see if it spreads anymore, but this thing was hit a couple of days ago, and it's spreading.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. We should keep it moving. Try to prevent this from going anywhere else. Because I love our friends. I don't know. We should stop the damage and then figure out probably how to fix it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, agreed.
Try to stem the flow of this.
Yeah, we can do damage control. I think once we stop it at the source, we can go back and fix from there. Yeah, that's a good plan.
Exactly.
All right, let's move out.
Y'all push through the rest of the city, and there's not a whole lot to report on here. It looks like a fairly kind town. Strange stares at Smudge aside, but people don't seem to be giving any of you guys too much of a hard time. Again, this is a town that seems to have a pretty diverse population, so the thought of having a mysterious-looking god-touched beast walk through, it's probably not uncommon to see amongst the townsfolk here. And true to Drax's directions, just outside of town, you can start seeing the pitched tents and waving banners of the Heretics troop in brilliant green rather than their usual crimson.
Oh, I hate that.
As you get closer to the camp, you can hear some concertina tunes, you can hear some ruckus. Sildra, go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Eee, so excited.
Oh, 21.
As your group is making your approach to the heretics camp, Sildra, you're staring down the road and you are fully bracing yourself as you see a short, stumpy pair of legs booking it in your direction as you are just tackled at the waist, managed to keeping yourself upright by a very red but incredibly thrilled looking Bobino as he beams up at you in a fully different fit from the last time that you saw him. But he's smiling big. He says, "Oh my god, it's you! It's you! You came all the way down here to see us! Oh my gosh! Oh wow! Oh wow! You got a cool horse now? Oh, and who's this guy? Oh wow! Oh my god! I'm so glad! I'm so glad you're here!" And he just gives you a big hug.
Aww. Sildra pats him on the back. Good to see you too, kid. You got a new outfit, I see.
He hugs closer. He's like, I don't like it. I miss the old look. And he is wearing again red robes traded in for sparkling green with gold accents.
Ah.
And instead of his clown mask and jingle bell cap, he's wearing a mask that does very closely resemble the strange mask that you recall seeing on the Evergreen idols.
Sildra takes the mask.
Oh, yeah, that's boss came up with that new design. He didn't like the old ones. He said it was, uninspired and we needed a new direction. And you can see he was rubbing at his face. And his face looks a little bit blotchy. He was clearly like running hard, but you can see kind of the remnants of like tear tracks as he's kind of scrubbing at his face. Yeah, I'm really glad you guys are here. Maybe you can come back a little later. The show's not ready yet. It will be. It will be ready. We've got a really big show coming up, but it's not ready yet. So maybe come back later?
Oh, we didn't come for the show though. We came to see you guys.
Oh, big smile again. Big smile and big hug.
No, we're gonna be sticking around for a bit. Don't know how long, but we're just gonna take a little tour about what you guys have here and catch up on some stuff. See what you've been up to.
Oh, okay, sure. Here, I can and he starts leading all of you deeper into the camp. He says, Draxa and Damos and Kataki were here earlier. They said they had friends coming actually. I didn't think they were talking about you. That's pretty cool. I don't know why they didn't mention you.
It was a surprise.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. And as you guys are coming closer into the camp, you start hearing a shouting match taking place. And you can hear a number of people being like, whoa, okay, let's bring this down. It's okay. Bobino starts shrinking back behind you all. He says, they've been going at it for a really long time.
Who's they?
From around a tent, you see a red-in-the-face Effie, who is gesticulating wildly to a troop member on the ground with what looks like an injured leg, as she says, This stupid stunt of yours is going to get someone here hurt. Don't you even care anymore? What the hell is wrong with you? Nothing you're doing is making sense. Can't you just think about the troop for 1 minute? To which a familiar voice says, "We don't have time for inefficiencies here, Effie. Get me a performer who's serious about making a difference. I'm not about half-baked performers anymore." And with a flourish and a twist of a shimmering green cape, turns around the troop master, who says, "We're here to make history happen." Story Hoard is produced by Grace, Maddie, Margaret, and Kev. Our theme song was written and composed by Vocal Outburst. Follow for updates and artwork on Twitter and Tumblr at StoryHoardPod, or visit our website at storyhoard.card.co. You can find all these links and more in the description of this episode. Beautiful.
The same song.
Yes! A dream is a wish your heart makes. Obviously.